Um, Maybe identifying, well, you already said don't worry about what your resistance is earlier today. Just kind of move forward. Well, about 2 years ago I asked you about having children, and I think I was pretty limp at the time with regard to that subject, and I've gotten much clearer through contrast of it not happening for a couple of years now. And I would like it to happen.
When you think about law of attraction, and you think about the experience of having children, and you think about what you have predominantly been thinking or noticing relative to that subject, does it feel to you that you have been lately more of a match to having children or more of a match to the absence of children?
I think more of a match to the absence, although I have moments when I can imagine and feel a thrill.
Good. Now that's a very good response. Now here's another important question that will bring it into further clarity for you. Which do you feel, in your experience, is the more familiar vibration? The absence or the presence?
Oh, the absence would be more familiar.
And so the universe is responding to your more dominant, familiar vibration. So the thing that makes this feel a little uncomfortable is that you know that there are all kinds of people who have children who have spent no time thinking about it at all. In other words, there have been lots of surprise pregnancies from people who did not set their goal. And here you are setting your goal and really wanting it, but can you take everyone else out of the equation and just think in terms of your relationship with the energy stream as it relates to this subject? Now, we know you've answered us very openly and readily. You can feel that you have not been a vibrational match to your desire. The formula says, identify the desire and then find vibrational harmony with it. The fastest way we know of to find vibrational harmony with your own desire is to talk about why you want it. So just ramble for us a little bit. Why do you want this?
I want it to be something that I share with my husband. I want to enjoy life with a child or children. Mostly I want it for fun reasons. When I'm with my niece and she kicks back and screams about loving something, I think, oh, that's just great. I would love to be a part of that.
When you think about sharing it with your mate, does it feel like it will enhance your experience or fix your experience? In other words, is there something, is that a missing piece in your experience?
No, it is that I think I spent many, many years not wanting children with men with whom I was involved. And this is like a new idea for me, kind of.
Right.
Because he's such a wonderful person.
Now stop for just a moment and hear what you just said. The more familiar vibration is the not wanting of them. The newer vibration is the wanting of them. Now, imagine a train going 100 miles an hour that way. And somewhere along the way, you decide, I want the train to go 100 miles an hour that way. Is the train just going to all of a sudden stop going that way and go that way? Or does it take a while to come to a stop, and then does it take a while to get going again? And so it's the same sort of thing. You have been projecting a vibration in this time-space reality where there is a buffer of time for years that is going one direction, and now you are modifying it to go another direction. And so can you comfortably just relax and say, now I feel this way, and as you talk more and more about what you now want, it will be. In other words, would you have it any other way? Don't you appreciate the fact that the universe is always responding to your vibration? And so when you say this is a new idea, the universe is still responding to my old idea. The universe is still responding to what I've been vibrationally offering for a very long time. And you see, none of you stop on a dime and start offering another vibration. It takes some time to find that new feeling. And so when we say describe to us or tell us the why, give us some descriptions a bit of what that is like.
the raising of a child in my imagination.
Yes.
Well, I think of pieces of it. I don't think I have imagined everyday life.
And so would you say your dominant feeling around this subject is one that is a vibrational match to the well-being you now choose?
Mm-hmm.
We would agree. And so now you have all of these things that you know. You know that you are a creator. You know that you are pulling from a pool of beliefs that are a vibrational match. You know that you have changed your mind rather recently about how you feel about this. What's your mate's thinking about this? Has he changed his mind as well?
Well, we both sort of always thought this is something we would do,
Yeah.
but didn't get around to doing anything about it, for a long time. He really wants to have children too.
All right, so here you are standing in a place where you have this strong desire, rather strong, focused desire that is not manifesting. How often do you notice that it is not manifesting?
Well, I'd say about once a month.
And
no, I mean, well, that's when you know whether you managed to pull it off or not.
And so, if once a month you have a very strong awareness and feeling of disappointment, that's
Right.
not yet. But every day, the rest of the month, you are visualizing and fantasizing and finding pleasure from your imagination. What do you think is eventually going to be the outcome of that? In other words, do you believe that the universe can deny you? What do you think is at the heart of this?
That's why what I'd like to know, because it's like during the time of the month when we're waiting to find out, I can be very, very positive and have great imagination, and even the day I get the bad news, I can just be soaring, and then
well, hear those words. The day I get the bad news.
well, I don't know, it's coming for sure.
Well, all of that, the extent of that bad news is that the train's still going this direction a bit. In other words, if you were an engineer driving the train, would you really believe that the train could only go that way? Or would you acknowledge that that's just the momentum that you'd established and that eventually you could go the other way? In other words, what we're trying to do here is help you sort of break loose of, you're holding very tightly to whatever the bad news of the reality is, you see. And what we're wanting to do is sort of help you loosen your grip of that and begin feeling like you are the creator that gets to decide, and that what you're living right now, you see, you are not living in a time of instant manifestation, and take our word for it, that's good. In other words, this buffer of time serves all of you very well. And so all that we're saying to you, and you are coming to know it, is right now, I'm not living the results of the energy that I'm flowing right now. I'm living the results of the combination of energy that I have been flowing relative to this subject, you see. And so if I'm wanting to change a future event, then now I have to change my feeling place. If you were living in a place where there was no buffer of time, you'd have the feeling, you'd have the experience, you'd have the feeling, you'd have the experience. And it is getting closer, it's just not that close. And so what we want you to begin saying to yourself is, this isn't a matter of if, it's only a question of when. And I have control about the when I relax and allow, you see. You've been making too many comparisons with others in your time-space reality. In other words, you say, well, why them and not me? In other words, that person isn't working nearly as hard at this as I am, and yet I'm not having the results. And we say very often, the thing you're trying the hardest about is the thing that seems to not come to you the longest. And the reason is because when you're trying very hard, you have strong desire, but that trying hard is an indicator of resistance, you say. So if we were standing in your physical shoes, we would just sort of relax and not try so hard and accept that it is something that is coming, and in other words, pretend that someone who really knows has said to you, you have about a year of intimacy, just the two of you, before there are more who join you in your family. And so if we were standing in your physical shoes, we would enjoy this lovely time of just the two of you, because not so long from now, you'll be looking back and longing for that time of just the two of you.